My sister destroyed my fiance's hearing aid because of a bet. She's shocked to learn the price, and now she's crying because she needs to pay using her tuition. My fiance Daniel has been dealing with severe hearing impairment for the past few months, and he relies on a hearing aid to function. It's an essential medical device for him, not a luxury. A couple of nights ago, my younger sister Emily and our cousin Jason came over to visit after a shopping trip. While sitting around, they started debating whether Daniel's hearing aid could withstand extreme heat or cold. They asked Daniel if they could test it out, but of course he said no. He even told them not to touch it because it's incredibly expensive and vital for his day-to-day life. While I was in the kitchen making dinner, Emily sneaked into the bedroom where Daniel was napping, grabbed his hearing aid, and decided to test it with a hairdryer. She didn't say anything to me at the time, and I had no idea what she'd done until later that night. Daniel noticed that his hearing aid wasn't working properly and started complaining of headaches and feeling disoriented because he couldn't hear anything clearly. At first, I thought it might be a technical issue or some sort of an extrusion. Then the next day, Jason messaged me on Facebook and spilled the whole story. Apparently, he and Emily had made a bet about whether the hearing aid would survive exposure to heat, and Emily lost. I was furious. Not only did she ignore Daniel's clear boundaries, but she also ruined something worth over $5,000 and all for a stupid bet. I drove to my parents' house to confront Emily about it. At first, she denied everything, but when I showed her Jason's messages, she admitted to it and immediately started crying. She claimed she didn't realize the hearing aid was so expensive and thought it would be fine. I told her she needed to pay for a replacement immediately. That's when she panicked and told me the only money she had saved was for her college tuition. She begged me to understand that if she paid for the hearing aid, she wouldn't be able to continue her education. My parents jumped in as they always do to defend her. They said I was being unreasonable and selfish for demanding $5,000 from her when I knew it would ruin her chances of staying in school. They even suggested postponing the wedding until they could figure out a solution, but delaying the wedding would cost us far more than $5,000 at this point. Plus, this isn't just about the wedding, it's about Daniel's health. The doctor warned that you shouldn't go too long without a functioning hearing aid, and right now he's struggling with constant headaches and feeling completely isolated. My parents tried to guilt me, saying I was analyzing a party over my sister's future, but that's not true. Emily made a conscious decision to take something that didn't belong to her, something she was explicitly told not to touch. She needs to face the consequences of her actions. My parents have always let her off the hook in situations like this. Just last summer, she crashed her friend's dad's car, and my parents paid for the damages without holding her accountable. But I'm not going to do that. This time I've stood my ground and told them either Emily pays for the hearing aid or they figure out a way to cover the cost themselves. I won't let them guilt me into letting this slide. Daniel deserves to have his health and dignity analyzed, and Emily needs to learn that her actions have real consequences. For once, I am not backing down.